This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, April 24th, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Negotiations over President Biden's massive infrastructure plan have hit a snag, and the White House and congressional allies are threatening to move toward a process that only involves Democrats if Republicans don't acquiesce. David Cherfinsky and Harris Alec report White House advisor Cedric Richmond said the president is prepared to shift tactics on getting a substantial infrastructure package through Congress if Republicans don't get on board. Biden administration negotiators presented a $1.7 trillion infrastructure counteroffer late last week that trimmed some of the president's proposed money for broadband, roads, and bridges, but preserved the bulk of his original $2.3 trillion package. Senate Republicans, who've offered their own $568 billion proposal, haven't rushed to embrace the White House's latest offer. Staying on Capitol Hill, the anniversary of George Floyd's murder at the hands of Minneapolis police will pass on Tuesday, with Congress still haggling over new policing laws, missing the deadline that President Biden set for lawmakers to find common ground. Carrie Murakami reports the top Democrats involved in negotiations with Republicans, California Congresswoman Karen Bass and New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, acknowledge the Senate will not be able to strike a deal before Biden's deadline. The Senate talks remain deadlocked over Democrats' demands that police officers lose qualified immunity, which generally shields officers from being sued for their actions in the line of duty. Qualified immunity is the biggest sticking point in the House-passed George Floyd Justice in Policing Act since it reached the Senate in early March. Across the street from the Capitol, the Supreme Court is expected to wrap up its term by the end of June, but the 9 justices still have dozens of cases awaiting rulings, including legal battles over the future of the Affordable Care Act, voting rights, and religious liberty. Alex Swoyer reports about 24 cases are pending with just 6 weeks left before the court's term ends next month, the biggest perhaps dealing with the fate of the health care law known as Obamacare. During oral arguments this past November, a sufficient number of justices signaled they could sever the individual mandate requirement from the rest of the act. That would leave intact its consumer protections, expansion of subsidized private insurance, and expansion of Medicaid coverage. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Don't have access to the Times yet? Visit WashingtonTimes.com/George to get 25% off your annual subscription. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says his department is working to create tools to help children figure out when they're being fed dangerous disinformation. Stephen Dinan reports a DHS spokesperson declined to divulge details, suggesting more will be known in the coming weeks. Mayorkas said at a Senate hearing last week he's eager to have additional resources to address misinformation and disinformation. Mayorkas added that DHS is partnering with the Department of Education to develop a program geared toward K-12 students. In Georgia, state investigators have been working under the radar going through voter fraud claims from the 2020 general election and have found nothing to change President Biden's victory in the state. Rowan Scarborough reports the examination is focused on Fulton County, Georgia's largest county and home to Atlanta, where Biden won by a 72 to 26% margin. After 6 months, a state official told Rowan, "We found nothing that would lead us to believe the outcome wasn't what it was reported as." And finally, professional UFO researchers and alien hunters say there's been a gradual shift in public attitudes regarding things in the skies that's now hitting its peak. Ben Wolfgang reports on Capitol Hill, in the media, and across the country, UFOs have gone mainstream, putting unprecedented pressure on the Pentagon, CIA, and others to level with American citizens and finally disclose information locked up in a century's worth of classified files. A string of leaked videos has put the Department of Defense and intelligence agencies in a position where they can no longer shrug off reports of UFOs. The most recent footage, captured in 2019 by the USS Omaha, seems to show an unidentified object disappearing into the waters off the coast of California. The Pentagon confirmed this week the footage is real and was taken by military personnel. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and subscribe for free to the front page. Just search Washington Times on your favorite podcast platforms. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.